Hey, what's up? It's Nokatu here with another comic book haul. First, as always, I want to thank everyone who has taken their time to watch my videos and leave a comment or a like. Appreciate it. So let's just get started. So these books here are mainly books from a warehouse that I frequent often when I go out of town for work. And I think there might be a couple of New Comic Wednesday covers. So there's a warehouse. I go out of town every one weekend every couple of months, and there's a warehouse where a store sorts their books when they buy a collection, and they go through it, and then when they're done, they put out the rest of the books for $1. They used to actually sell them sometimes for 50 cent quarter, but that day's long gone. Now it's always just $1. They haven't done a quarter sale in years, years and years. Pre-COVID, after COVID, when comics went a little haywire, and they haven't really reset. Well, they have reset some. They haven't gone back to $1. So when I go to this warehouse, it's probably about 30 minutes off the highway when I'm driving to the place I'm hitting, and usually they put out new books every 2 or 3 months, and so I had just been there about a month and a half ago, and sometimes I even go when I'm not going out of town for work. And so I debated about whether going there this particular occasion, which was 2 weeks ago, and I said, well, what the heck, one of the problems with the warehouse is there's poor lighting, so there's parts of the warehouse where there's really not good lighting at all, and so depending on the situation, sometimes I bring a headlamp just so that I can see, so I'm not buying a book for $1 that's warped or torn or in terrible condition. Even for $1, I don't want it. Two, if you go in a winter or cooler months, there's no heat. Three, they only take cash. So they take no credit card. You have to have cash only. And on this occasion, I wasn't sure I was going to stop. And at the last minute, I said, you know what, I'm going to stop. And so I'm glad I did, because they had just put out 30 new long boxes from a collection they had gone through that Saturday. And so these are the books that I found. Now, when I first stopped, they had 30 new long boxes, and I was like, let's just see what they got. Let's see what they got. And this was the first book I pulled. Now, this is from 2016, Scarlet Witch, and it is David Aja cover. And if you don't know, of that series they did, this is probably the most valuable one of it because of the Japanese motif art on there. People ask for a lot of money for this book, and I think it really is probably worth about $20 or more. There's a couple of sales out there that people want $40. There's not many listing, actually. When it gets graded, people want stupid money, $300-400. It is a hard book to find in near mint. This is in near mint, high grade, and it was loosey. It wasn't bagged or boarded. And so when I saw it, I was like, all right. In my head, I hear voices of people that are famous, that talk, or YouTubers, like I mentioned before. And I was envisioning or hearing Denzel Washington, where he goes, all right. So, not the Matthew McConaughey. So, I said, well, let's see what else they got. So that was the first book I came across and said, okay, maybe this stop is going to be worth it. Okay. So there were a lot of Lucy's, meaning non-bag books, and so I found that one. Then I came across these. Now, I don't know much about this character, but I do know that it's small print run and it does go for some money, and that's in Invader Zim Volume 1, Number 1, also in near mint. I do plan on reading that. That is cover A. I think that's cover A. No, that's cover B of Number 1. This is cover C. This line, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, is that a subscriptions crease? But it's actually emulating the fold of a poster, and that's what that is. So that's cover C, Invader Zim. Again, I have no idea of anything about this book. This is number 2. Number 3. That's cover B of number 3. This is cover A. Number 4. Number 5. And then this is a variant cover for number 6. So I decided, for $1, I'll pick all those up, check them out and see what they're about. Then I found these, and these were all Lucy's also. Avengers number 1, great George Perez wraparound cover, right? With the Avengers, nice looking cover. R.I.P. George Perez, one of my favorite artists of all time. George Perez, Danger Girl number 1. Never collected this when it came out. I'm pretty sure funds were tight at that time, and never had it. So for $1, I was like, all right, I'll pick that up. They had this in high grade. Well, it's not in high grade. It's probably VF because of these right here. But great Neal Adams cover. It doesn't go for anything, but great Neal Adams artwork. I was like, let me save that comic from getting damaged more. I'm pretty sure I have a copy of that, 2 or 3 copies of that. Then I found these. These are Spider-Man number 2. I think this is a volume 1 because they never had just plain Spider-Man title. So Spider-Man number 2. I'm pretty sure the store picked out number 1 and number 13 because of the cover. And these were all there, and they were in high grade. I have these already. I picked these up when they came out when I think I was in college. Number 2, number 3. What year did these come out? Was I in college or was I working then? 1990. Yeah, I was a senior in college. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Not my favorite cover by McFarlane. Number 6. Classic cover. I think he did an action figure on that cover. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Wolverine. Number 10. Wendigo and Wolverine. Number 11. Number 12. Again, 13 wasn't there. If you don't know, that's the cover of him homaging his first cover, number 1, but in the black costume, and then number 14 with Morbius. So they had those there, and they were all in high grade near mint. I mean, these are in high grade. I had them already since I had multiple copies of number 1 and 13. I decided, you know what, I'll pick those up. Maybe I will lot them up together with one of my extra copies and see if they would sell. So that's my intention with those comics. All right. So here's the other David Aja cover I found, Scarlet Witch number 9 from 2016. Again, actually did not like these motif covers that they did for Civil War II promotion, but it was an all black cover. I didn't really like the cover itself, but I have a number of issues of Scarlet Witch. I did not have this one. This is the one that is worth the most money, I think, because of the Japanese motif in it. But the David Aja cover, I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. It was in high grade, so I picked it up for $1. And Aja's it's AJA, but it's pronounced Aja because he is a Spanish descent. It's a Spanish name, and that's why it's called Aja. J is silent, or pronounced Ha. For $1, Dark Horse Comics number 1. It is not the first appearance of Predator in comics, but nice looking cover. How about when this used to be something, right? Avengers number 2, Councilman of Kane, Alex Ross cover. I've got probably 8 or 9 copies of that in high grade. But for $1, I decided to pick it up. Flash Volume 1, number 347, nearing the end of the series. What do I want to say about that? That's the trial when he can, for when he killed Reverse Flash, and it drags on to I think 350, but that's definitely worth more than $1. And I have that issue, but I wasn't sure how high of a grade it was, so I picked it up. These were high grade. I debated about getting them, right? Because I think Eric Larson was one of the reasons why I quit Amazing Spider-Man at this time, because, I've said this before. Funds were limited. Pretty sure. What year was that? Yeah, I was a senior in college, 1990s. And I wasn't spending $1 on this comic. So, but here it is, 2026. I'm still spending $1 on the comic. Double size, Amazing Spider-Man 350 in high grade. Pick that up. What else do I want to show here? This here, another McFarlane cover. I've shown this before. I found a bunch of copies of it, and so I found another for $1. It doesn't, it's 100% Todd McFarlane, but he doesn't have his signature on there, so I think a lot of times people miss it, but it's clearly his style and his art, and it is, I have confirmed that it is his cover. 331, another terrible Eric Larson art. 334. I had all these, but I figured high grade for $1. You're not finding those for $1 very often anymore. $335. So these aren't in order. $330 Punisher. I think they're worth more than $1. Aliens 2 of number 4, the first limited series. Number 1. This might be the second limited series, but cover looks nice. I decided, I'll pick that up for $1. And then I got these only because I don't have the whole series, and I decided, you know what? I might try to complete that series. The original run, the first 30 issues, maybe 33 I have, 1 to 33. it was a great read. It was written by Mark Waid and Humberto Ramos did the original art. Um, I always thought it was, well written. I really like Mark Waid as a writer. So I got 52, 51. I think the series went to 68, and then 49. Now, about these comics, because I didn't have them, I've always wanted to read this. This is Neil Gaiman's Black Orchid, book 1. Now, I'm 100% positive I have number 1. And I don't have the other issues, and they were all there. When did this book come out? 1989. So I was in college, and junior in college, and there was no way I was paying $3.50 for a comic at that time. And so here it is, $1. They were in near mid high grade. Number 2. Oh no, that's number 3, and this number 2. So to finally get that series so I could read it for $1, I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'm pretty sure I have at least 1 or 2 issues, but I did not have all 3. And then they have these. I have multiple copies of the Cult complete series, but when I see them in high grade, I was like, yeah, I'll complete the series. Number 2 and number 1. With the great Jim Starlin and Bernie Wrightson doing the artwork. Great comic. Or a great team there. These were $1 extra Adam Hughes. What's a comic haul without some Adam Hughes covers? For $1. I have those already, but I didn't want to leave them there. I should have, though, because I'm now working on my 4th long box of just Adam Hughes covers. It's getting out of control. All right. Now, then I found these books here, and I was like, okay. All right, So, so let's start with some pretty good books. IDW 234, low print run, hard to find. 234 from 2017, 235, 236. Now, all 3 of those books, each one is an easy $30. IDW in the 200s. I think most people know the John Royal covers. They go for some money. But even the regular cover A, not the sub or RI retail incentive covers, they all go for some money, and they go for $30. Easy $30. This one, I don't know why it goes for more, but it goes for significantly more. This is G.I. Joe 237. I should have looked it up to see why, but this book is an easy $80 to $100. And so just these 4 books here will pay for everything that I bought at the warehouse and then some. Probably fund the next trip. Then I found this. This is 1-in-10 ratio variant for Wonder Woman by Alex Garner. It's not the most valuable one of that run he did for Wonder Woman, but it's definitely worth more than $1. Probably easily $15, $20 book. These issues here of Static, Volume 1, also from the 90s, number 4, and then number 6. As you know, they're all worth more than $1. Now, this is only worth $1 in my opinion. This is Fantastic Four, 272. This used to be worth something. It had some heat when I can't even remember which Avengers movie it is, but when it had with Nathaniel Richards' first appearance cameo, that used to be $15, $20 book. Stores still have it listed for some money, which I think is stupid, but it's $1 book all day long nowadays. Now these, I saw these and I said, okay, I'll pick those up. Wynonna Earp number 8, cover A, and then the sub cover with the photograph cover from the show, number 8. If you know, these go for some money. You just have to hold them, list them for a long time, but they will eventually sell. And some of the last dollar books from this warehouse. Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. I did have this one, number 2, which I can't recall, but there's some first appearance in there. Not worth anything. Now, I think it's a dollar book. It did used to go for a little bit of money, but not anymore. And these were to complete my run of volume 1 of Wolverine. So these were all in there meant for $1. Wolverine number 12, number 13. Now this one is going to be a placeholder because after I brought it home to rebag, the cover is detached completely. It's cut. And it's not even worth $1, but like I said, sometimes this wasn't this actual bag, which is pretty clean. I'm sure the shop was trying to sell it, and I'm sure they don't even know. They probably didn't even take it out of the bag to see that it was detached. So I'll put it as a placeholder until I finish and get the other one I need. So 146. 147, and then the horrendous cover by Eric Larson, number 148. So those are all in high grade near mint minus. 121 is going to be a placeholder, and then the only comic I'm missing from volume 2 of Wolverine is number 23, and then a replacement of 121. Because number 23, actually, it's not an expensive book. It's just hard to find, for me at least, in their mint. It's a classic cover by John Byrne with Wolverine on a kind of a green motif cover. And he's got three of his claws up. So I'm going to keep looking. Hopefully I can find that in Dollar Bin. Got this because it's all black. This is Witchblade number 54. Doesn't go for anything. It's only worth $1, but I took a chance. These are New Comic Wednesday purchases. Wade Wilson Deadpool. I like the cover. The tribute to Steranko from Nick Fury. Number 1, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Facsimile copy of Spider-Man Noir. I've not watched that series yet. Number 1. Worth more than a variant. Probably 2 summers ago, I think I bought the first print of that for $250, I believe. What do I want to say? I do think facsimiles are affecting the market to some degree, because if I would not have already had this first print, and I knew they were releasing the facsimile, I'm perfectly happy with the facsimile. There's certain comics that, unless they're super, super keys, I don't think people go after. I don't know. We'll see. The Legion of Superheroes number 23 that came out this month with Adam Hughes and Supergirl. Beautiful cover. I have the first print in a graded 9.6. I did buy multiple copies of that on New Comic Wednesday. It's a beautiful cover. Usually now, if I'm buying the facsimile, I'll buy the foil cover. I don't think that it's going to be worth a lot, the facsimiles, but I love that cover. And so, but I think some of the older books, like I've mentioned in my video before, I'm not, I think Uncanny X-Men 101, First Appearance of Phoenix, is kind of an expensive book that I'm just not that interested in. So I bought the facsimile, and that will be perfectly fine for me. All right, some other new Comic Wednesday purchases. David Aja, normal variant ratio. Tales of the Green Lantern Corps, Guy Gardner. It's a one-shot. Nice looking cover. Green Lantern 34, also David Aja. Normal ratio variant. What do I want to say about that? Not really a lot. I mean, when he did the Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 10s, you know, they go for $10. These here are not Amazing Spider-Man. It was Poison Ivy. That did go for a little bit of money. And then these Adam Hughes, favorite artist. I kind of like this cover here. Spider-Man Superman #1. It's got a bunch of short tales in it. I haven't read the whole issue, but I did read a couple of the short stories in there. They're nice, you know, various artists, various writers. I didn't mind it. Let's put it that way. And then the last book I want to leave you with is this here, the symbol cover month that they're doing. What is it? In May of 2026. This is Nightwing 36. The only criticism I have of this is this logo here. It would have been so much better if they had just made it point just truly blank with just the symbol. I hate that DC symbol there. I just think it takes away from it. I bought a couple of copies of this. I may have shown one already, because I do think this has some, you know, something you hold on to. I just hate that. Hate that. Anyway, take that off. Put the Adam Hughes back up. So there you go. That's my haul. Appreciate you watching. Till next time. Peace.